Hi everyone, my name is Katime Rosas, your mentor for today's video. Now I am going to discuss to you the conic section. We first defined what is conic section. A conic section or simple conic is a curved form when a plane intersects a circular cone or double knot cone, and these cones have its resulting curves. These are hyperbola, circle, ellipse, and parabola. Now we first discuss the hyperbola. Now what is hyperbola, by the way? Hyperbola it is a set of all points in a plane such that the difference of the distances of each points of the set from the fixed points, or we called foci, in the plane is constant. Now, the equation here is if the center of your hyperbola is 0, 0, then the standard equation or the formula of the standard equation is x squared minus x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared equals to 1. Then the standard equation of hyperbola with a center at h and k is the quantity of x minus h squared over a squared minus the quantity of y minus k squared over b squared is equal to 1. Then here are the properties of hyperbola when your center is at 0, 0. Now the equation is x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared is equal to 1 if your transverse axis is horizontally oriented and your foci is the quantity of positive, negative, c, and 0, and your vertices is positive or negative a and 0. Then your asymptotes will y is equal to positive, negative b over a times x. Then if your transverse axis, the equation of your hyperbola, if your transverse axis is vertically oriented, is y squared over a squared minus x squared over b squared is equal to 1. And your foci is the quantity of 0, positive to negative c, and your vertices is 0 and positive to negative a, and your asymptotes is y is equal to positive to negative a over b times x. So next is when your hyperbola is at center of h and k, so these are the properties. We have the equation of your hyperbola if your transverse axis is horizontally oriented is the quantity of x minus h squared over a squared minus the quantity of y minus k squared over b squared is 1. And your foci is h multiplied by positive to negative c and k. And your vertices is h times the positive to negative a minus k. And your asymptotes is y minus k is positive to negative b over a times x minus h. And when your hyperbola is vertically oriented, then your equation is y minus k squared over a squared minus the quantity of x minus h squared over b squared is 1. Then your foci is h and k times positive to negative c. Then your vertices is h and k times positive to negative a, and your asymptotes is y minus k is equal to positive to negative a over b times x minus h. The transverse axis is The meaning of transverse axis is distance from vertex whose endpoints are V is equal to A and 0, or your V is equal to negative A and 0. For hyperbola whose center is at origin, center of intersection of the axis. Then your conjugate axis is perpendicular to transverse axis whose endpoints r is equal to 0 times 0 and b, or b is equal to the quantity of 0 minus 0 and negative b for hyperbola whose center is at the origin. Now, we have here the latus rectum. Latus rectum is a curve through the focus perpendicular to the transverse axis. We have also the 2a, which means it is the length of the conjugate axis, and 2b, length of the also a conjugate axis. Then 2c is length of the focus. Then a is the distance from center of the hyperbola to the vertex. Then b, distance from the center to the end of the conjugate axis. C is the distance from the center to the focus. Don't give up.